conversation that I had a few days ago, an individual was sharing with me that it was recommended to her to take high doses of fluoride in order to combat the weakening of her teeth that had resulted from a former pregnancy. And in the conversation that ensued, I was reminded of some information that I'd like to share with you today. Hello, my name is Dr. Robert Bartosh, and I want to remind you of the dangers of fluoride. And if you have any doubt that fluoride is toxic, well, consider that over 20 years ago, the FDA mandated and ordered that all toothpaste manufacturers put on the label a poison warning for the chemical fluoride. Now, we know that every fact is confirmed by two or more witnesses, and I just want to remind you, or review, if you will, and I'm using two different companies, toothpaste from two different companies, and I'd like to share with you what is on the label in case you haven't read it recently. It states that there is a warning here, keep out of the reach of children under 6 years of age. If more is, and then it goes on to say, if more than used for brushing is accidentally swallowed, get medical help or contact a poison control center right away, period. Now, why would you control or contact a poison control center? Because what you just swallowed, obviously, they deem as a poison. It goes on to say in the directions, adults and children 2 years and older, this is what you're to do. You're to brush your teeth thoroughly after meals or at least twice a day, or use as directed by a dentist. Do not swallow. To minimize swallowing, use a pea-sized amount. Use a pea-sized amount. That's what they're telling you to do. So, and you know, some of us that use these types of toothpaste, when you do it, you know, you liberally put the toothpaste across the entire length of the brush, and you're back there brushing everything and foaming and whatnot. And, you know, you may be careful to spit it out and rinse it out as much as you can, but you have got to understand that much of this is being absorbed through the lining inside the mouth, and the gums is going right into your bloodstream. And if you're brushing more than 1 or 2 or 3 times in a day, then you're getting quite a bit of this fluoride. And I want you to realize that indeed this fluoride is considered a toxic chemical, and also that it's in over about 70% of the water, the municipal water that you and I that's been made available to us, has fluoride in it as well. Now, I'm going to be referring to a lot of different studies here in order to get across to you that what I'm saying to you is not an opinionated expression. It's not my opinion, it is a fact. The fluoride has been linked to cognitive problems and lowered IQ. There were over 300 studies that found that fluoride is a neurotoxin, and what that means is fluoride actually kills and or damages nerve cells, nerve tissue. It's neurotoxic. It makes the nerves sick. There were 50 different human studies, and they have linked fluoride with reduced intelligence. There was, in particular, a study that was done at the Harvard Medical School, and the researchers found a link between elevated fluoride levels and decreased IQ in children. And the studies also demonstrated brain damage and cognitive and memory impairments as well in these individuals. The National Research Council reports that there's substantial evidence that fluoride can affect the thyroid function. As a matter of fact, up until the 1960s, fluoride was used to control the thyroid. If an individual was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, then they were given dosages of fluoride in order to reduce the function of the thyroid. And that's what they used because it's a very powerful chemical agent to reduce the function of the thyroid, especially the levels of T3 and T4. Now follow this. So what goes on here, the fluoride then is used to reduce the function of the thyroid. Now, when a person now today, and they discontinued the use of that, but today we'll just say that people are brushing their teeth with toothpaste that has fluoride in it, and they start to experience these types of symptoms. It could be fatigue, it could be brain fog, muscle and joint pain, depression, weight gain, classic symptoms of hypothyroidism. And it could be resulting, believe it or not a conspiracy theory here, but it could be resulting from the fluoride that's being absorbed by that individual as a result of them brushing their teeth. Now, this is again one of the reasons why we recommend and offer detoxification programs to the patients that come into us because of the environment in which we live. And also there's bad news for diabetics. People with diabetes, what the fluoride demonstrates and has been shown to do is it increases blood sugar levels. It also inhibits the production of insulin. This is a hormone produced by the body in order that the body uses to open up the cells so that the cells can absorb the excess sugar in the blood. Well, it inhibits the body's ability to do that and produce it, and also it worsens what's known as glucose intolerance. So the people with diabetes, brushing their teeth, they're under a double whammy here. And also it increases your risk for heart disease. The aorta, which is a very primary artery, it has the ability, if you will, to accumulate more fluoride and store it than any other soft tissue in the body. So it makes it very vulnerable. The fluoride then in the aorta triggers what's known as oxidative stress and also causes the body to react in what's known as an inflammatory response. It's the body's way of protecting itself because this fluoride now is getting closer to the heart, and it causes that artery, that aorta, to develop into a situation known as atherosclerosis, and it also causes heart damage. And the research also shows that it increases the risk of stroke and heart attacks. Fluoride also weakens the bones. Listen to this. It was used before in the medical community. They thought that fluoride actually strengthened the bones. So they would go ahead and administer fluoride to individuals who had osteoporosis. But unfortunately, the administration of the fluoride actually worsened the condition of osteoporosis, and it resulted in more bone fractures, spontaneous bone fractures. And according to the Fluoride Action Network, it increased the fracture rates and poorer cortical bone structure. It made the bones that were developing much, much weaker, and the bones that were already there in the body, it continued to weaken them until it resulted in spontaneous bone fractures. To the point where, again, the FDA stepped in and they said that no longer could fluoride be used as a treatment for osteoporosis. Also, this is another research that was shown. The National Toxicology Program classifies fluoride as a mutagen. Now, what that means is fluoride in the body actually causes genetic cell damage. It damages the cells, see? And then also they went on to state that it is a probable cause or agent to cause cancer. There was another Harvard study, and it showed that boys exposed to fluoride in their adolescence actually had a significantly greater risk of developing osteosarcoma. That means that the fluoride caused the bone cells to generate or regenerate or multiply at a very high rate, which caused bone cancer in the long bones of these individuals during adolescence. Pretty heavy stuff here. The fluoride also causes gastroenteritis. You know, see, we get back to that, what I stated earlier. Some of the people inadvertently swallow the fluoride. The body then, in order to protect itself, starts to become very turbulent, in the stomach trying to rid itself of this noxious chemical, this damaging chemical in the body. And the individual will start to have nausea or abdominal pain, or they may be vomiting, and they go to the emergency room, or they see their doctor, and they're misdiagnosed as having gastritis or gastroenteritis or colic or whatever, given another drug to treat this, and they go back to their habit, which is brushing their teeth, swallowing the fluoride, resulting in the same effect over and over again. And it's a sad situation indeed. We talked about how the fluoride causes endocrine disruption. It affects the thyroid, the T3, the T4 production. And you know, we live in a society today where we're very concerned and conscious about the whitening agents. We want to have our teeth whiter than ever before, and we'll go through all kinds of steps in order to see that's done. And these are some things, remember, I've shared with you before. For every action, there's always a result. There always is an opposite and equal reaction that occurs. And then also the joint pain that's caused by fluoride. The research shows that fluoride is a direct cause of osteoarthritis, and it also mimics arthritis here, arthritic pains in the joints as well. So look, the bottom line again is this. We live in a society that we drink a lot of water, a lot of bottled water. You have to realize that much of this bottled water that you're purchasing contains fluoride. So what do? Well, my recommendation, my suggestion is, if you're going to drink bottled water, which is great, make sure that, or try to get the spring water. Try to get the spring water. There's no chemical additives to it. When it comes to the toothpaste, do some research. Try to get some toothpaste that has no fluoride in it, you see. And there's a lot of companies out there that have this type of toothpaste available. You can even use baking soda to brush your teeth. And that's a topic that we can discuss in another video. But for those of you that want some additional information here, because I know I've given you a lot, and again, I want you to know that this is not a personal opinion, I would refer you to these various websites where you can continue your own research. The FDA.gov, that's FDA.gov, NIH.gov, that's the National Institute of Health, NIH.gov, and you can look under the fluoridealert.org, fluoridealert.org, and you can go to the Harvard School of Medicine.org and preview and review some of their research that they did on the fluoride, and you'll see some alarming information, I'm sure. Hey, our goal is always to provide you with information that can enable you to achieve the best performance of your life, and hopefully we've done so. We invite you to join our YouTube station at Proactive Wellness, because I do have some other videos there that go into detail in some other areas regarding fluoride and how it's affecting your health. So until the next video, and as always, God bless.